Looks like this live event is ready. It's not really an event. I mean, I'm talking to myself, but I don't really care. I just wanted to go on a rant because interesting times we live in. Not just because of COVID. I'm not saying that to piss anyone off or anything like that. Just in general, in logistics and transportation. I mean, whether we're going to just focus on the ground aspect of things in the U.S. or in North America, it's getting pretty nuts. I mean, it's been nuts for a little while now. There's a few people on LinkedIn that I'd like to just give my respects to people that go out of their way to definitely help keep me motivated. People like Mr. Jammin. Everybody knows Mr. Jammin, Mr. Greg White, and Mr. Scott Luton. And these are people that keep me going on LinkedIn. They keep providing me with valuable insights into logistics and supply chain as a whole, specifically talking about supply chain now and Mr. Scott Luton and Greg White. But essentially, just these rates. I'd like to start off by talking about these rates. I mean, it's getting wild, and I'm trying to explain to some people that it's the market we're in. It's not my doing. It's not anybody else's doing down the road. It's just the market we're in. I mean, I know back in April, let's say that first week of April, I was involved with some things online and different panels, people talking about, or Zoom calls, excuse me, people talking about relationships and building relationships and being honest with one another and being integral with one another. And I had my hand raised. I was all for it. But at the end of the day, when we're looking at it, the tables have completely turned, and now it's, now it's the other way around. Before, when this whole COVID thing hit, shippers get what's it called? Price restricting carriers, brokers, quote unquote, gouging or price restricting carriers. Carriers going bankrupt, all of this stuff. Okay. And so we got together and we said, we're going to work together. We're going to go and solve this issue. We're going to solve this problem, or, solve this from not occurring in our industry. It's been happening for decades, so to speak. And then comes, end of May, beginning of June, all of July, all of August. I would like to say all of September as well, where insane rates. It's hard to justify certain rates. It really hard to justify going to a shipper or your customer and just saying, yeah, we can do this for you, 2,000 miles, $48,000. Are you kidding me right now? $48,000? How am I going to show what I've spent to move that shipment from point A to point B? Yeah, you can argue, okay, free market, capitalism, all this stuff. But there's carriers out there right now that are saying, it's time, let's bang the broker, the broker needs to bend over and take it. That kind of ridiculous talk, we're on all of these comments now, and that everybody's commenting on LinkedIn, not on my stuff, and just as a whole on LinkedIn, there's like one carrier that's talking about it, or two carriers. Everybody else is just complete silence. Everyone's just like, it's okay. We're doing good now. We're making crazy money. One driver told me last week he made $16,000 in 4 days of work. Where is it all going to lead to? Where is this? I don't know. Like relationship wise, how are we going to get to where we need to be to make it work for all sides? Am I saying to go back to $1 a mile? I hope not. I hope that's not what people are getting out of this. But there's got to be some talk there. You know, I reached out to a young man. You know, God bless him. He doesn't know any better, but you know, I reached out and I said, you offered me $5,075 for a move that went 163 miles. You know, how much are you spending on fuel, and how much are you how far is your driver deadheading? So I'm still trying to be reasonable with him. I'm still trying to talk with him, because at the end of the day, he's the one with the assets, he's the one with the truck, and I would need an option, essentially, right? So what do you need? You know, what is a reasonable amount that you need to move this? And he replied to my LinkedIn message smiling, and cynically smiling. And then I asked them again, why this kind of attitude? What is it that is causing him to have this sort of attitude towards me or towards any other person, in logistics? Another cynical smile. So there's no room even for negotiation. There's no room for talking, for any of that stuff, I can't go to my customer with that price if I don't have a justification for it, unless it's life-saving material that needs to make it from point A to point B. The chances of the customer wanting to pay $5,000 on 160 miles, essentially 170 miles, slim to none. On a good day, on a bad day, on a mediocre day, it doesn't matter. And so these are some things that we need to fix in our industry. I don't have an answer to it. I mean, it's just now we just have to wait for the tables to turn again, and then people will start complaining again how the rates are unfair, how brokers are doing this and brokers are doing that, and freight technology is doing this and freight technology is doing that, and everybody's to blame and all this stuff. That's not what's happening now. What is happening is not the right solution to the problem that we had in April. It is not the right solution. And so we'll see where it all goes. But I definitely wanted to just talk about those rates and just say, yeah, they're a little fucking high, man. They're a little high, man. They're slightly on top of a mountain right now. And they're going to keep on climbing probably to the first layer of the atmosphere and then the preceding layers after that. So yeah, we are in for an interesting peak season. And where will it all lead? I would love to hear what people have to say in regards to that. I would just like to say that I do appreciate truck drivers, and I've always given fair rates my entire career. I have always been for fair rates. I have always been that the people with the actual physical assets of the freight are the ones that need to get most of the pie within every single transaction, that there should not be profit margins of 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% in the industry on any given shipment. That's just 40%. I mean, that's ridiculous. That in itself is also ridiculous. And I've always, like I said, I've always been for fair rates. I've always been for the right thing to do for the customer, for myself, and to build a relationship. But you have to give something in a relationship. All these people just get like, oh, like angry, like just fucking full of just like, I need to do this, I need to do that. I can't justify $48,000 for 2,000 miles. That also is very hard to justify. Where fuel is right now, I cannot justify that number. Maybe I can justify that for some sort of potential safe option for air charter, maybe, depending on how much weight you have and all that kind of stuff. But for a truckload, ground, solo driver, 40 grand is not something I can tolerate right now. And I don't need people like that in the network that are going to be gouging. I mean, that is gouging in itself. That is gouging. There's no other. How do you explain that, right? What are we going to, we're going to just say, we're going to treat all brokers and freight technology equal now because, 3 or 4 brokers during the tough times, gave us shit quotes and told us that they can only move things for $1 a mile. Nonsense in itself. In addition to all of that, I know last week I talked about the whole LTL thing and the issue that I had with the prepayment and stuff. It was resolved. It was an internal issue. It got fixed. Um, so I think that the company that was involved in that and fixing it and getting it prepared, although I did have to pay to fix in the moment, so that way the customer got their freight before it closed on Friday. But now, looking back in hindsight, I'm glad that that situation happened because we got it all figured out and taken control of. In addition to that, we should be continuing to learn every day, educate ourselves in logistics and transportation. Whenever every chance you get, whether you're listening to Chris Jolly or Mr. Kyle from K Ratio, I'm sorry, Kyle. It's not your first name. It's the Lintner. I to say the last Lintner. So Kyle Lintner, Chris Jolly. I love watching their stuff and reading into that analytics part of things and what they have to say. There's a few other people out there that really do a good job to kind of help us along. Jason Miller as well. Jason Miller provides fascinating analytics in transportation, especially things pertaining to industry as a whole, just the whole system and how it functions. I I love it, man. I think keep on doing it, man. It's just fantastic. Kyle, same thing, man. Fantastic. I've enjoyed every second of it. I love your advice that you give to brokers, your advice that you give to carriers, and advice in itself and the market itself, and not just advice, but actual data to back it up as well. What you provide for us, particularly speaking on Mondays when you have your main video posted. So keep on doing what you're doing there. Um, yeah, so I wanted to get that out of the way. Um, you know, all these people that are keeping things positive and sharing good positive vibes on LinkedIn, we need that more than ever right now. Things are nuts in the world. Things are crazy, and now not just in the whole world. Let's even look at just geographically speaking, just like the U.S. in itself right now. It's just like things are just crazy. Things are just wild right now. So having people share their insights and keep giving people that extra drop of positive influence to get through a day, to get through a week, that stuff's priceless. So keep on bringing that. And again, I'm going to cut it short. I mean, the rant is already 13 minutes long. I can keep going forever. You can't stop me with my rants. But yeah, check out everything out there that it is to check out. We in Canada are trying to do what we have set out to do, and that's to revolutionize the industry for benefit of the truck driver. And so my trucker is the way to go. We are trying to do our part in that. We are growing and we are excited about it, and we'll keep everybody updated in what we have to offer. And so I'm really happy about that for Canada. In the US, my folks, keep on trucking, keep on going crazy, in a good way though. I mean, like crazy, like motivationally crazy, not like crazy like protests and like throwing rocks at buildings and stuff, but just be happy, just look at your why and say, I got to get this done and get it done. My Mexican friends, you guys are just awesome. I have no complaints about you. Keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll get through another week together. So, adios, amigos, and all of you, goodbye, chavos. And if you have any questions, if you think I'm crazy, comments down there would be fine, and we'll go from there. Cheers. Peace.